So, have you ever stopped to think about what happens when an AI, deep in the middle of some super critical task, just fails? I mean, it's a huge problem, right? But what if it could just heal itself and bounce right back? Well, let's dive into this because we're going to explore the playbook for building AI that's basically unstoppable. All right, story time. Once upon a time, there was an autonomous agent. Think of it like a digital worker, and its job was this massive, really complex financial migration. You know, a job with a ton of steps, and this little agent was just working away tirelessly. And for 8 solid hours, everything is going just perfectly. It's making progress, checking things off the list, and then, bam! Without any warning, the server crashes. The whole system just goes dark. And all that time, all that progress, it's just gone. In a normal setup, that's it. Game over. A total catastrophe. But let's ask a serious question here. What's the real cost? Because it's not just those 8 hours of work that were lost. Nope. The real cost is the massive ripple effect, the operational downtime that can spread from just one little error. Yeah, it's this nasty thing called a cascading failure. In these complex systems we're all building, one agent crashing can literally halt your entire enterprise pipeline. Everything just grinds to a stop, all because of one little hiccup. That is a fragile system, and honestly, it's a huge liability. Okay, but what if we could change all that? What if that agent, instead of just giving up, had a feature that pretty much every one of us knows from video games, a built-in autosave? Think about it like this, right? On the left, you've got gaming without any saves. You make one tiny mistake and boom, you are right back at the beginning of the level. So frustrating, right? But on the right, with autosave, you just respawn at the last checkpoint. You're ready to try again almost instantly. Now that is resilience.
So the techie equivalent of that autosave feature is called checkpointing. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. It's just the act of saving the agent's state, its memory, what it's doing, its progress, to a database at really critical decision points during its task. It's basically creating that save point you can always return to.
So, how does this actually work in the real world? How do we use these checkpoints to build a system that can literally heal itself? Let's open up the playbook and see how these agents bounce back from failure. It's really this beautiful, totally automated 4-step dance. First, the system detects a failure. Instantly, a rollback is triggered. The system then zaps the agent right back to its last known stable safe point, that checkpoint we just made. And then, finally, with all that context restored, it figures out a new path forward, cleverly avoiding whatever caused it to fail in the first place. Now, this whole magic trick is made possible by a pretty powerful recovery toolkit. This toolkit lets the agent automatically roll back to its save point, intelligently replan its route to get around the problem, and this is crucial, it lets it remember exactly what it was doing right before the crash. And this right here illustrates the difference perfectly. With a standard AI, a crash means everything is lost. You're starting all over again from zero. But with a resilient agent, a crash is just a little bump in the road. It rolls back to that last checkpoint and picks up right where it left off, maybe already at 90% completion. I mean, the difference in efficiency is just staggering. You know, when you start building systems this way, it just fundamentally changes the entire reality of what automation can do. You're not just writing flimsy scripts anymore. You're actually building an unstoppable digital workforce. And that, right there, is the key idea. This is not some small, little improvement. It's a total transformation. You're going from something brittle and fragile to something that's robust, resilient, and, yeah, unstoppable. So what's the result for any business? It's a whole new level of trust in your automation. You get workflows that aren't just fast, they're incredibly reliable, and they're capable of running 24/7 without a human having to constantly check on them. Just imagine looking at your monitoring dashboard and seeing this. Agent health, 99%. Then a tiny alert pops up. Error detected. Rollback triggered. Path replanned successfully. The system literally just healed itself, and the workflow just keeps on going. That is the power of resilience. So, for anyone out there actually building these systems, the big takeaway is to be strategic about it. You've got to plan a checkpoint strategy. Go find those high-stakes, absolutely critical steps in your workflows and make sure you're saving the progress right there. It is the single most important thing you can do to get this kind of autonomous recovery. And that kind of leaves us with one final question to chew on. Take a look at your own automated processes, your own systems. How can you start building this kind of resilience into them so that they never, ever have to start from zero again?